Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors and Winston Chester. Glad you're here on this Friday morning. Looking forward to a great weekend. This morning weather just absolutely just tremendous. So I know we're all excited about what we're all going to do this weekend in the great outdoors. I'm about 99% sure I'm going to head down to St. Joe Bay and go scalloping for the last weekend of scalloping season. But I'm always we're flexible with our plans. Our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center, right there in the corner of Baldwin Road and Highway 77. Run by and see Principal Mike Heppenstall or his staff there. Great folks, and they're willing to help you in any way they can to help you have a better career. Okay. High today will be 87. The low tonight is 68, and water temperature remains at 82 degrees. River readings. Take a look at Apalachicola, Bluntstown for the weekend. We're looking at a good flat Apalachicola River like it has been for quite a while. It's going to read 0.6 officially in Bluntstown. Now the Choctahatchee River, and check it out tonight. It is going to be at 9.1, but now Saturday morning it's going to start dropping out. For the whole weekend, it's going to be dropping out on a pretty rapid basis over there. So if you like fishing falling water on the Choctahatchee, this will be your weekend to do it. It'll be a really strong drop. All right, take a look at our tides. Our tide chart here, September the 21st. Folks, we only have one more Friday left in September. We're looking at a high tide at 102 this morning and a low tide right around noon, about 12:38, and this coming in the afternoon. So you got an ideal situation. You got about a 1.6 foot range. You got an incoming and outgoing tide during the day. Either one you want to fish, we can do it today. All right, let's take our first break. We'll be back with our special guest. Okay, welcome back. Sitting here with Brad Stevens, Sunjammers.
Morning, Coach.
Good morning. No stranger to our show. Brad started Sunjammers a while back and just been a great sponsor. And you're in a great situation where you can do the woods and the water.
Absolutely.
And you might as well call it Sunjammers Woods and Water.
Yeah, we've thought about, everybody said, man, because we just started with Sunjammers when we first started. Mm-hmm. I wasn't smart enough to know you actually had to advertise to let people know where you were. So then when I started, just the name Sunjammers didn't really resonate. What is it? What is it? What is it? But I wasn't creative enough to make them draw to me. So then we added water sports to it, and, it kind of summed up what we did. That was many moons ago. So I don't know. I'm anti-name change, but I think we may need to do something on the end of it. Because we do such a good hunting business, and people walk in, they don't expect to see deer corn and deer estrus right next to a Mirage Pro Angler kayak.
Well, talking about name changes, Coca-Cola learned a lesson from that a good while back when they went to Coca-Cola Classic, and they just had all kinds of people change it. And you don't change your name that you have for a while.
You just figure out a way to brand it differently.
It was called a New Coke at the time. All right, now what's the latest out there? What's been going on out there?
We've actually been hearing a good trout bite starting to pick back up. A lot of it over in East Bay and some of it in West Bay. They've been hitting them. Don't come to me looking for them because I'm out of them, but the white SS minnow, we're out of them. And then Glow's the second. We're sold out of both of them, and we're honestly unsure when we're going to be able to get any more of them. They've been on order for a while now. There's a bunch of other colors for the SS minnow. I don't think it's the color as much as it's just the action of that bait that's making it work. The DOA paddle tails, the Arkansas Glow seems to be a really good, really good producing bait right now. It's those paddle tails. It's the vibration. If you've been watching any of our fishing reports that we put on Facebook and YouTube, we've been preaching for the last 2 or 3 weeks that you need to have the baits that put off a vibration in the water because the water is so stained. That gold spoon, everybody wants gold, but it's that spoon vibrating through the water as you pull it. Those paddle tails going thump, 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 thump as they're, being pulled back through the water. I really think that's what's turning the bite on, And honestly, gulp under a popping cork's been extremely productive because it has that pop, pop, pop. It has that sound to pull the bait up, and then it has the scent. So once they suck in that piece of plastic, that gulp or anything soaked in Procure it gives that little something extra that'll actually make them hang on for you to react and set the hook.
That's all true. All those things, the sound, the look, and the actual motion of it, all that stuff adds together. And we've talked about this before. A lot of times, fish will get used to a certain sound, and they'll turn off from it after a while. They really get used to it. Then with something new, like we did popping cork years and years ago, then it sort of got out of style, and now it's sort of really coming back.
Absolutely, and been getting also the SSW11's been a very good bait for us.
Oh, okay.
That's a Rapala topwater. Man, we should have saved all that for our fishing report at
well,
the
we're
end.
going to talk.
I'll say it again.
Well, what about you got a floundering light now? I've been excited about this. This is, folks, we're talking about how history repeats itself. But first of all, historically, when our early folks got here, when they floundered, they didn't do it out of boats. They walked along the shoreline, mainly with old Coleman lanterns. At first, the Indians did it with just the torches and all. Then the first people had Coleman lanterns, those old lanterns.
And until Google came around, I didn't believe my grandfather that they used to do it.
Yeah, oh yeah,
they did. Yeah, I know they did, well, and I thought it was an old wives' tale.
So then they got skiffs, got little flat bottom skiffs, and everybody started going to boats, and everybody's floundered for a couple of generations out of skiffs. Right. But now,
and I grew up floundering out of a flat bottom skiff we built out of juniper. My grandfather, ours washed away in a hurricane, so I remember actually building this skiff, and he wanted to build on the front of it, which we insisted on the light and the battery. They used to use fat lighter up there, and that was their light was a big fat lighter.
Yeah, exactly.
This is Sunjammer's flounder detector. It's going to be very hard to show in here. Basically, it's an underwater LED light. It's extremely bright. One thing everybody says when they pick this up is like, oh, it kind of feels heavy. But in the water, this kind of almost has positive flotation without having positive flotation, so it's very natural in the water. You slide up here, it has a nice grip, and then all this pivots on your elbow. And this is, while it feels awkward sitting in a chair at a table, when you actually get out in the water walking around, it's extremely bright, extremely productive. You can either have it down in the water, and we've also noticed sometimes in the shallower water, especially with a stain, instead of having a light in the water, we can take this and actually spot down, and it throws a very good light as well.
Yeah.
We have these rigged two ways. We have them with just your bare wires on the end of it. That find a place here we can see that. There we go. Just the bare wires that you could easily make that wire longer, and you actually go to a boat or a canoe or a kayak or something. So you aren't carrying your battery. We also have we're going to bring fanny packs back in style. That's the little fanny packs, 12-volt gel cell sealed battery. We put a connector on here that plugs right into the battery, and we also have the chargers to plug the battery right into your wall. So we really recommend having a battery for your light. If you're always trying to use something else, it's always dead.
Yeah.
You need to have the battery, the charging system, the light all together, hot all the time. So when you literally, like you said this morning, got 45 minutes or an hour,
exactly.
We're blessed enough to live on the water. We can slide out in back of the house and just go walking around. And honestly, to me, flounder and sticking a fish is just a bonus. It's just being out there at night, looking in the water. It's just absolutely wonderful.
Well, and the great thing about it, a lot of times we don't, like we said, we have just a block of time, it seems like. We don't have time to go get a boat in, and we all live close enough to water where there's a right-of-way, there's a dead end down there at the end of the bay. You can walk out there, or there's a little wayside park, there's a car grade, there's a Lynn Haven Park, there's a beach drive. You just park there, walk out there, and in 45 minutes, an hour, and plus you can take, in a boat, you're sort of limited to how many people you can take, and they're always sort of looking over. Now you can take several people with you walking. You could have a couple of lights with you and then talking back and forth. It's going to be this is going to be a trend that's going to take off. I really feel strong about this.
I hope so. Like I said, I wasn't totally sold on the idea 6 or 8 months ago. Local guy Bill Laminack almost perfected this for us. He also started a Facebook floundering group.
Okay.
It's called Flounder Gigging, I believe. If you go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/sunjammers, I'll post a link here in a few minutes, and that way you can click to it, slide over to that Flounder Gigging group, and it's people all over the southeast and all over the country now. Those Texas boys that almost have no limit, Louisiana. I mean, you just see these big stringers of big fish, but the average fish that I've been getting reports that have been being stuck this year's been around that 18 to 19 inches. There's been some good quality fish that are in our bay right now.
That sounds great. Look, we're going to take our next break, and we'll be right back talking about more of this. Okay, welcome back, folks. We're glad you're with us. First of all, we forgot to mention this during the weather. Now, this weekend will be the autumn equinox. We talked about it now for quite some time. This is when the official first day of fall. And check out what's going on. And see right there the tilt. And we're tilting away, right up here, we're tilting away from the sun. And then, of course, winter will be up in here, completely, the northern hemisphere is away from the sun. And that's why I'm starting to see the shorter days and all this official stuff that's going on.
My favorite part on that graphic right there is how short winter is.
Yes, it is short.
I just noticed that. None of this clicked in school when I was looking at it. You taught me something this morning, Coach. It's how short winter is. I really, really like that.
Well, we're happy if you learn something every day. I just learn a couple. You don't have to learn it all in one day. Just learn a little bit. That's what I tell the kids. You got to learn a little bit every day. Okay, we're going to talk about hunting in just a second. I've got to show this one picture here. One of my former students, Trevor Benton. Now, this is duck season opening up this weekend. I know there's going to be some bamming around all the lakes around, so get used to it. But check out this picture here. This is a duck boat. This is Trevor Benton over there in Callaway. Now, folks, is he ready to go duck hunting? They've been working on this. This is great. They've been working on it a couple of weeks now, and they got it ready. So, Trevor, I wish you and your duck hunting buddies great luck tomorrow morning. And I know those ducks not going to see y'all. So, good job there, Trevor. Speaking of hunting, I know you've got some all kind of hunting stuff out there.
We do. We have your, all your Moultrie feeders, your Moultrie cameras. Honestly, we're starting to run low on a handful of SKUs. It's gone over so well. We've checked to see when we can get more, but do not wait till it's time to go. And right now is the time you should be upping the amount of feed you're putting out. You should be putting all your supplements out, your come here deer, all that stuff that you plan on doing basically the morning of your hunt. You should be doing now. If you're wondering why the leases next year, the guy a few stands down is consistently getting bigger deer, well, look at what he's doing. He's probably feeding them longer. He's probably feeding them better. I know it sounds like a sales pitch for you to buy more stuff to put out there, but folks, it works. If a deer just shows up one day and he's used to walking and all of a sudden he smells all this stuff on the ground, he may or may not go up and see it. He may turn around when something changes. It really, they're kings of survival. So when something's different, they really pay attention to that. Well, so you want that something to be different before you're sitting there ready to take that deer.
Yeah, and you've got a great location out there. Everybody on that west end and all can get out there. There's really not a lot of places you can go and get some stuff out that way. So,
we've been told we're the only place on the west end of the beach that has, any type of stuff. There's a few other places selling deer corn. Somebody told me I was $2 cheaper than anybody else they found on the beach.
Oh, really?
I haven't been around. I went to one place to buy something else and saw that I was cheaper. But and corn's $12 a bag. There's no way to sugarcoat it. Corn is not cheap this year.
And we didn't anticipate. We talked about that, 6 months back. It's going to be high this year, and with the weather and the drought out there, it's going to reflect in everything we do.
Especially the drought followed up by so much rain. I mean, it was almost from one extreme to the other, which made any salvageable crop just too soupy to harvest. So, it's going to be a tough corn year. But that's okay. Yeah. I mean, it's you still got to get out there. It's still a relatively inexpensive hobby when you think about it. I've helped somebody load, I think it was 8 bags of corn yesterday, and they were complaining about the price. I said, how many days will you get out of this? Oh, this is a week or so. Yeah. I said, you run offshore fishing with me one day, and this little bit of money you spent seems like nothing all of a sudden.
That's true. Yeah, hunting is one of the cheapest outdoor activities you can do. Now, let's quickly talk about the kayaks now. Are new kayaks coming yet, or
Yeah, I have a majority of our kayaks on the floor, 2013 models.
Okay.
And honestly, this year I planned on having, almost 2 of every model on the floor. I was going to cut back on the amount of kayaks we had inside on display and put 2, one the way it comes and one with what we call our Sunjammers Angler Edition. Every time we rig a Sunjammers Angler Edition, it sells that same day. So if you come in looking for one, just ask us. We'll point where the stuff goes, and then we'll need a day or 2 to rig it. We've just been blown away with the response of some of these packages we're building. We brought in 3 new paddle manufacturers. We're so hung up on the Mirage Drive, Hobie's foot pedal mechanism, the Mirage Drive, that we kind of wrote off paddles. You needed them, but they weren't a necessity. We're selling some very nice paddles now. We apologize years past. We overlooked a lot of segments of the industry maybe we shouldn't. We're really not refocusing, but starting to focus. The wilderness systems, Ride 135, Ride 115,
yeah.
2 of the greatest fishing platforms. You talk about floundering, you can stand up in these boats. They're inexpensive. They fit in the bed of a trucks, on top of cars. You just need a really good quality paddle to help navigate them through the water.
Okay, that Sounds good. Sounds good. Listen, we're going to run out of time, but we don't go. But I tell you what we got to do. We've got to go ahead and do our drawing. Okay, Tarpon Dock Seafood drawing. Okay, this is going to be. I'm going to let you draw as you always do, and don't draw your name out. This will be a $25 gift certificate to Tarpon Dock Seafood. Throw them back in there. Throw them back in there. Right. I said Brad Stevens on that.
It sure did. My mother-in-law wants me to pull hers. We've been tearing up some Tarpon Dock Seafood shrimp.
Okay.
Let's see here. Don L. Andrews.
Don Andrews. Okay. $25 gift certificate. This is September. This was September. Okay. All right. Now this will be the big red snapper. All right. The winner's big red snapper.
This one right here feels like mine.
Okay.
Josh Anderson.
Josh Anderson is a loyal viewer. Josh is a big loyal viewer, okay? Good job, Josh. And Don Andrews. Okay, now look at our times for today. We don't have time to put the camera on. I'm going to go, here's the times right here. I'm going to call them out to you. It's 5:33 to 7:33 this morning, and then this afternoon from 6:03 to 8:03. So excellent time to get out. That's the best times of the day. All right? Now, we're going to get set up. We're going to take a break and set up for our famous Friday fishing forecast, and we're going to show you where all the fish are biting and where everything is hitting and what they're hitting on. So we'll be right back. All right, folks, welcome back and welcome to our famous Friday fishing forecast brought to us by Tarpon Dock Seafood. Love doing it on Friday with Brad's here especially, so we're going to get started, but I think we're going to start over on the west end of our viewing area over there. I'm sorry, on the east end, because last week we did the west end at Choctaw Bay, so this week we'll go to the east end. Let's go down to Apalachicola Bay. Got a good report down there. I talked to Blair Morgan yesterday, and he was talking about right here. We're going to zoom in. You see Dog Island. Let me borrow that, Brad, real quick. That's Dog Island up in here. This is St. George Island, but then I'm going to let Brad show you the Bob Sykes Cut, okay? The Bob Sykes Cut. I try to put it more here in the center.
Hard to hold my pointer on it when you keep moving it, Coach.
Okay, that's the Bob Sykes Cut there now. That was Congressman Bob Sykes had funding put in there. He was such a good politician and named after himself. But that is holding a lot of redfish, folks. Blair said they're catching some on the outgoing tide. You can imagine all the redfish in Apalachicola Bay. A lot of them are going out of that area, and that's the end of plantation. Brad, you said you used to fish that area, or sail that area?
I used to, we used to race sailboats all down through here. The Boy Scout camp over there, a guy named Larry Hale runs that Boy Scout camp over there. And before y'all kept me so busy selling fishing tackle on the weekends, we used to go over there and race Hobie 16s.
Well, you can see now it's jetted up right there in this part right in here. It's got a jetty on it, but the big deal is that it's just such a strong water flow. I fished that area back in the 60s before the plantation was built. I was able to drive a Jeep down there and fish it with some friends and all and some family, and we were able to really catch some good fish and all. Okay, so that's the biggest thing in Apalachicola Bay right now are those big redfish. It's right now. The water temperature is cooling down, so the flounder. I've talked to some other guys down there. They're getting ready to go flounder gigging anytime. Probably this weekend there'll be a lot of people out floundering the next couple of weekends. So late September and October is the best time to flounder down there. All right, let's go over here to St. Joe Bay. And again, I was just talking about scalloping again. We talked about, I'm going to show this one more time. This is the last weekend now of scallop season. It goes out Monday. And if you want to scallop, you can either go to, here's Black's Island right here. If you want to wade and all, you can go to the north side of Conch Island. This is where I plan to be here probably Saturday. But if you don't have any kids with you or anything, you can get some deep holes right here on the west side of Black's Island and also on the southeast side of Black's Island, this channel here. Those will be the top 3 producing places. Here's Presnell's. Come on down. There's Presnell's north of here, right in here. You come out of Presnell's, just hang a left. Okay, and also all through here there'll be some large scallops and then some of these deeper holes here. That's going to be the concentration of scallops. Okay, so also the good fishing report from St. Joe Bay. The redfish bite is really good over there around Pig's Island. Okay, Pig's Island. Okay, Brad, let's go over here to East Bay. You said you get some good reports on East Bay. So let's talk about East Bay for a second, Brad.
Yeah, been hearing one of our team members, Sean Blunt, who fishes home. I don't know how he fishes so much, but he's been fishing over here in East Bay a lot. Doing relatively well. We got a lot of good reports from him for the SS Minnow really turned on over there. And it was just out of the blue. He threw everything in the tackle box, you know, just thought it was a dead bite. Switched baits, pulled out the SS minnows. He used to fish them years ago, and when you know it turned on, he switched to it, and he's been very productive. Also, he was fishing around the Hathaway Bridge at the last PCKFA, which is our Panama City Kayak Fishing Association Club outing. Okay. We fished this area right here, and he rounded the corner, and you know, he caught a few trout. So
at where now? Where was he?
It was at Crawlgray Parks where it was, and then I don't know exactly which way he went, but he went right around the corner from there. I don't know which corner he's talking about, and you know, got into the speckled trout. So,
well, that whole area, there's a lot of good. Speaking of Crawlgray Park, there's a great grass flat right out from there, and excellent fishing. You can wade out. He's talking about wade fishing. You can wade out from Crawlgray Park.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's an ideal place to put a kayak in and paddle. You can paddle north of there, and you can come back around on the backside, come around the bridge there. So that's some good places to go there.
Just be careful around the bridge in a kayak, especially, you know, with all, you know, boats running early morning, late afternoon.
Okay, West Bay, again, West Bay has been producing real well. Got some good reports. You saw the big picture of Steve Brookins, a huge redfish he caught over in West Bay around. He wanted to tell me exactly where he is, but I tell you where I think he was around West Bay Point there, but we don't know for sure. But West Bay produced some really nice bull reds this past week, and all of them were caught and released. Okay, you got anything else on West Bay?
No, just, you know, fish your points. You know, all points produce. All your small little creek mouths. You know, I say it almost every time. I feel like a broken record, but Crooked Creek and Burnt Mill Creek aren't the creek mouths we're talking about. You know, even some of these little bitty creek mouths. You know, there's hundreds of them around West Bay. Yeah. So just you know, pay attention to those small things. Outgoing tide seems to be doing the best. I've had some people running to the rock pile and catching fish in the intercoastal. I was like, "You're running where?" I said, "Is it cold outside yet?" But you know, they say they catch fish in there year round. Yeah.
And again, on Choctawhatchee Bay, real quick, the causeway there, again, we'll be having a lot of flounder. We got some real good reports on the Choctawhatchee Bay at the causeway. Brad, we're running out of time again, buddy.
We normally do. Don't forget Pompano and Whiting are starting to show up in pretty good numbers.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks for coming on, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, folks, thank you all for watching. Listen, you have a great weekend. Do something good for somebody today, and God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.